All right, we're about to get started here. So for everybody that is currently watching on YouTube, this is a private gallery that people have asked to take part in. It was a ticketed event, and I'm posting it so because I haven't been live, I've actually set aside a lot of time between now and the beginning of December to be able to get on and do these galleries with you guys and to be live. But what I'm doing tonight is I am presenting this to a group of people, and the comments that you leave for me, I'm going to go through and I will then answer you guys back. Thank you very much, Julie. So yeah, thank you guys. It's been a really weird time. So I have just trying to maintain my health and staying healthy and not be too stressed out and trying to work and present as much as I can to you guys in the way of messages and not wear myself out. And I came this close to really wearing myself out. So again, I know a lot of people work during the night and they're, unable to be here for the evening, and then there's people in the daytime that it's just everybody's schedules are different. So I'm going to do some galleries during the day as well. And there's going to be the public galleries that I do where everybody just jumps on like you are right now in chat. And then also more private galleries like I'm going to present tonight from Zoom, where I really only allow about 10 people in. And then that way everybody gets a really thorough reading, and it helps because some people want that personalized reading that's a little bit more than what you get in a public gallery, but they don't have the ability to pay for a phone conference with me, a consult. So I'm trying to open myself up to as many people as I can and make it feasible for more people to reach me and get those needed messages. And all I can do is just continue to pray to God that He gives me the strength to do it, and that I am continued capably of understanding the messages that He sends. So I'm going to let you guys just sit in on this evening. And again, if you have something, a question of any kind, post in the comments. And also if Lala is available, she'll show up in the chat room with a wrench next to her name, and she helps me on all of these galleries. So it's an impromptu thing, and I don't expect her to be here, but if she does jump in and you have questions, go ahead and ask her. She will be very happy to answer those for you. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. All right, I'm going to be letting some people into the room now. Hello. Can you hear me okay? Everybody can hear me, I guess. All right. We have a few more minutes before we get started. This is going to be recorded and put onto YouTube. So then if you really want to go back and listen to what the messages were, you'll be able to go back and do that. And we'll just wait for a few more people to get in here. I should probably, you know what? I can just get started. And as people show up, they show up. They know when to be here, right? Okay, so you know what? Maybe I will wait just a few more minutes, because then I don't have to explain myself again to newcomers in case they don't know how I do the readings. So just hang tight just a few more minutes while we get everybody in the room. And at 7 o'clock, I will start promptly. I will not wait after 7 for anybody else to show up. All right. Okay. Again, this will go onto you. You'll be able to go back. It's going to record to YouTube. So then you can get back and see that. All right. Hello, everybody. All right. We're almost there. Okay. Well, that's cool. That's a neat tattoo. I like the tattoo. That's really pretty. Yeah, I like that a lot. I love birds anyway, and I love like ravens. So for me, that looks like a raven. It's really pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah, tattoos are fun. They're very addicting. Very addicting.
Yeah, I kind of want one more. I have 3.
I'm going next week. I'm gonna get another tattoo next week. They're very addicting, but they're fun.
They are painful. They're very painful. But since I just had my eyebrows done, I think I might just wait.
You have your eyebrows done?
I just had them done last week, and what they call a microblading, and they tattoo them to make them look fuller.
Oh my!
And it lasts about a week, and they kind of peel off, so you don't have to do anything else after that. It lasts about 2 to 3 years.
Oh, that is so nice. Then yeah, because if you have a bad day and you can't get them right, you can look really funky, you know. Oh, I know. I used to have like Brooke Shields eyebrows, and they were like angry eyebrows. And then as I got older, I don't know what happened. They just like went away and diminished. All right. I know that there is definitely one more person that she was looking for her stuff today. So I know that there was actually everybody, there was supposed to be 10 people, but some people, I think everything went into spam and showed up as like Zoom spam. So I kept saying, just check your spam folder. So I was hoping that everybody would get that message on Facebook, but I don't know if anybody did, and it didn't work to email anybody either because everything kept going to spam. So
I was the one that had called you, Dr. Foster, and I found it.
You did?
Yes.
All right.
Not here.
Things are set up for it.
Well, I was worried. I'm like, oh my gosh, I even talked to her earlier and she's not here. I'm so worried. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We'll get started. Goes up. Some people chicken out. Some people just whatever. So we'll just get started. So what I'm going to do is the camera for me is your eyes. So I'm looking into your eyes right now. And when I'm reading for people, although I'm an eye contact person, I find your energy and then I drop this curtain in front of me so that I'm able to walk through your world with you. And so the information that I get is going to come from God, from spirit guides, and from people who have passed over. I don't consult the dead, but I will tell you if they say something, how they look, how they sound, if they smell like anything. I'll give you everything that they give me. And it will come through symbolically. So I'll explain to you first what I'm being shown, and then I will explain what it means. And you're all going to get a good reading tonight. And so I will just get started and we'll go across and be done. And if you feel like you have to go after your reading, feel free to just pop out or whatever. I won't be offended. But again, it's going to go onto the YouTube channel. Just search Rebecca Foster, PhD on YouTube. And then this will show up so you can go back and look at it if you like to at that point. Okay. Whew. So if you want to talk to someone and you're hoping that someone comes through tonight, send up that message that talk to me. All right. Okay, so let's see here. We've got Michelle. Okay, and the tattoo. What is your name?
Brenda.
Brenda. Okay, Brenda, Michelle, Lori, Joseph, Megan, and Rosie. Correct? Okay.
I'm actually Tara though. I'm on my daughter's login. Tara Raswick.
Tara. Okay, that's good to know. I could actually call you like Mr. T, and it wouldn't matter what I called you.
It's all good.
Yeah, as long it doesn't matter what you call yourself. It just doesn't matter.
Okay.
But for me to call you today, then we'll call you Tara. Okay. All right. So let's take just a moment here. Let me get my energy. And I think I'm going to start with Michelle tonight, and then we'll go from there. So Michelle, let me find your energy. All right. And then what I'll do is when I'm done, I'll let you guys all ask questions or clarify things I've said. And it'll just keep me in where I need to be. And then you guys we can just go forward with questions. Okay. So Michelle, all right. So Michelle, the first place I go for everyone, and I'll get this out there and then I'll read you, is a beach. And the beach represents safety, security, and grounding. Water represents problems, but it can also represent opportunities. It just depends on how it presents. So when I'm looking at you, first off, Michelle, when I'm actually walking behind you, and we haven't even made it to your beach yet, but I'm walking behind you, and you've got what appears to be like angelic, your guides there's 3 of them, and they're standing 2 on this side on your right and 1 in your left. And one of them puts his hand or its hand on your shoulder and goes, I know you. And you're like, of course you do. So you're talking back and forth with your guides like, oh, we know each other. And you're showing me around, which is the way it should be. So part of the correspondence, the communication that they're showing here right now that's really important is that you must have some form of gift that you yourself are developing or trying to develop right now. And I would think that this would be something that would run within your family. So I hate the word psychic. I just hate it because it just has this bad connotation to it.
Right.
So there's so much more to it. You could be a light bringer, a spirit worker, you could be a medium, a clairvoyant. There's a lot of different things that describe different gifts. And I don't like using psychic because I think it's misused. I do believe in extrasensory perception, and I'm thinking you also have an ability to either communicate with or to understand energies as well. So if you haven't honed that yet, I'm supposed to tell you to do so. But your guides, the way they talk to you, I'm pretty sure you're already working on that process. They're saying that they want you to be, that in order to completely remove any barriers between you and this ability, that you want to remove all ego and all personal control of it, meaning it has nothing to do with you. It absolutely has everything to do with spirit using you, and that's it. And so a huge amount of humility goes into accepting gifts. It's kind of like somebody who loves you a lot, and this goes for everybody right now, but if you give somebody a gift, you're like, you can't wait. Sometimes you can't even keep your mouth shut long enough to wait for a birthday or Christmas. You're just so excited to give. You can't wait to see their face when they open it. And so you give a gift to someone and they're like, okay, thanks. If somebody did that to me, I'd be like, well, give it back. I would go get my whatever. And so the same thing goes for God. He gives us a gift. He wants us to be happy with it. He wants us to use it. He wants us to be thankful. He wants to see us. Are you using your gift? Do you love your mixer? Do you love your robe? Whatever it is, you want to see the person using it. And you want to also go, well, I got this from so-and-so. Isn't this awesome? Look what they gave me. And we always want to credit, no matter what, we want to credit where we're getting stuff. So that's where they're saying for you, it's so important that you lower yourself to servant level and allow him to use you. And it feels like this is something that you would be really good at, either through visual or through intuition and seeing, like cognizant reading. So if you haven't done that already, I'm supposed to tell you to continue to open up to it and watch those 1111s, 111, feathers, pennies, dimes, all those delicious things.
Right.
And then before I let you go, I'm hearing somebody talking, but I'm not seeing him. It sounds like a male voice, and he goes, it's like it's like somebody standing there going, can you just tell her I said sorry? Can you just tell her I said sorry? Like that, like they're like, can you just tell her I said sorry? Like they don't want you to know because it's outside of their personality. So they're trying to acknowledge to me that this is not someone who would ever apologize for anything. They would find it very difficult to ever acknowledge that maybe they were wrong. And so what he's trying to say is, can you just tell her I said sorry? Yeah, whatever, just tell her. So he's embarrassed and trying to get across exactly who he would be and saying he's sorry. And then he hopes that he didn't lead you improperly or guide you improperly. So he had his own faults and his own issues, and he never dealt with them himself. And it led to a huge emotional immaturity level that trickled off onto everybody around him. And he says that you had big eyes always watching, just big eyes always seeing, and not, oh, I just got the chills. I am sweating my arse off right now, and I'm just chilled all the way down. But he just let you know, just tell her I'm sorry. I did. So it's a genuine apology, but he's trying to acknowledge who he is to you. So that hopefully
that makes sense. It's my ex-husband, Eddie. Yes.
Good. Well, you looked at him like the way you looked at him was with adoration, or with just that you really truly loved him, and he was not reciprocating that same kind of a feeling. It was completely misunderstood. Like, how could you even love me? Kind of like, what do you, for him, it was very misunderstood. He didn't feel worthy. So yay. That's good. Excellent. All right. Okay. So you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Somebody said something too when I was doing that. It was so poignant. And I thought, oh, don't forget that, Rebecca. You want to make sure you tell them that. And it goes in and out so quick, I don't remember, but hopefully you guys remind me. All right. Okay. So I am going to go to, we're like the Brady Bunch almost here. Oh, no, look down at you guys. All right. Okay, so I'm going to do, let's see, whose energy is that? I have to see you really quickly. I think this is not, so we've got Rosie, Brenda. Okay. It's a fight between Brenda and Joseph. I'm trying to figure out which gender. Brenda, can you say hello for me?
Hello.
Joseph, can you say hello for me?
Hello.
Okay, it's Joseph. All right.
Oh, it's for me.
Yes, this one is for you. Okay. So the first place your guides put you, Joseph, is actually a different grounded place. And it is at the bottom of like a river. So if you're in Colorado or someplace, you know, the water is rushing down the mountain and it comes to more of like a single stream area. And the water, as it gets down to the base, it slows down. It's not as deep, it narrows. And that's about where you're at. So as you're walking, you're actually ankle deep in this water, and you're carrying what looks like a blow up raft. Your pants are rolled up like clam diggers. You're trying to keep them from getting wet. You have your glasses on. Okay, I was making sure I'm seeing that properly. So you're holding the raft. I don't know what you've got, a shovel or something in your right hand. Okay, looks like a shovel. It's interesting, it has meaning, I'll explain it. So where you're at right now, when, I'm gonna have to back up a little bit to explain this. So where you're at is a place of decision. You're either going to be making a decision of comfort or a decision that you've never done or experienced or made before, and it's really going to be difficult because it's risky and it's kind of scary. And at the same time, nobody is going to be there going, hey, Joseph, come on, we're right here waiting for you. Let's go. It's usually a very difficult choice because it's scary. So you have the option. Now you jumped off the raft, which is just crazy. And you're walking in the water because you're anxious. You're trying to get things moving. You're like, I'm so sick of this. I'm tired of this. Let's go. Where do I go? Where's my exit? Where am I supposed to get off on? You want me to go which way? Come on, people, let's go. Let's go. And so as kind as you are and as patient as you've been, you're waiting for this positive change to finally happen. So people have a choice at this point. You either get off on the right or get off on the left, meaning you get on the right bank or the left bank. If you get off on the right-hand side, this is where I'm going to back it up a little bit. This is the place of comfort. It's where everything you know, everybody you know is on this side. If you get off on this side, the only place to go is with your raft in hand, back up the mountain, get back in the water, and come back down. Now, when a person is at a point of getting into the water, you throw your raft in, you get on. Now you are at the mercy of the water. It's white water. It is tearing you down the mountain. You're bouncing off of rocks and you feel like the world is coming at you. You really don't have any control or choices here. You're having to trust that this water is going to get you to where you can finally get out and get off again. You have the little raft, and now what you did is you jumped off, again, because anxious, and you're barefoot. So barefoot means that nothing external to you right now is holding you back. Nothing is saying, like, you can't do this, Joseph. Nobody is saying that that's stupid. Why would you do that? Right now, if you want to do something, it is a time to make it happen. Do not let humans discourage you at this point. First of all, we're not here to please people. We're really not. Every time we do something, we should be going, how is God going to like this? Is he going to dig this idea? Because if he's not, I probably shouldn't do it. And we ask ourselves, would I say this or do this to God? And if not, you want to question it and really think about it. It keeps our moral grounds high. The fact, though, when people get off on the right-hand side, they go up, they come down, they go up, they come down, they go up, they come down until they finally go, oh my God, I don't care anymore about my comfort. I don't care about what's going to make everybody else happy. I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. Now, the coolest thing is you came down that with a shovel already. When you get off on that left-hand side, again, this is a new experience. It's scary because you've never done it before. It's a part of your life that leads to whole new pathways because you've never walked them before. And that's what's terrifying is if I go this way, is anybody I care about going to find a way to meet me there? Are they going to stick around, or am I going to lose people when I do this? Is there something, what more of a risk am I taking? So this is a time in your life, long story short, to summarize, you have to get off on the left-hand side. As terrifying as it might be, you have to get off on the left-hand side because it's going to take you to places that you've never been, and it's going to give you experiences that you've never had before. I want to see really quickly. Sorry, I didn't have these last night, and once I get to reading people, sometimes the energies pull and my eyes just get so tired. So Joseph, I'm with you. I'm actually behind you. And I'm going to pick you up because that's what I do. And I'm going to set you down. I'm going to drop you. I'm going to let your guides move you where you need to be. Because there's two things. And I just want to listen to your guides real quick. Okay, so your guides are talking really about your lungs. And that's what I want to hear. I want to hear what they're talking about. There's so much. See, when I'm quiet, it's not that I'm just looking, I'm actually conversing with your guides and with those on the other side in a quiet telepathic manner. So then when I'm not vocal, by vocalizing questions, anything that knows you can answer it. So I'm conversing with them on a—
I understand.
Okay. So many things. First off, Joseph, I keep hearing, tell him he's going to be okay. Tell him it's not a punishment. God totally loves him. That you have already, oh, getting the chills. You have already surpassed a life from a past life that was part of your mission to be here this time. Now, past life stuff comes through when it's important to this lifetime. And in a previous life, this looks like you were scientific, you were a writer, and you were really on the precipice of coming up with something. You were about to solve something. You were solving a problem. And oh my gosh, chills. And you did not live beyond, and it may have been something that took your own life or took your life, an illness of some kind. And so in this lifetime, you've brought back a residual energy as well. So part of what you are experiencing right now is residual. It is not the same thing, because it almost looks like, I would think you would be this, the way you look, I'm thinking is like 15th century. So we're talking like 1500s. If you have any desire or love or any love of like watching things about that time period, or maybe just like a factor that probably has something to do with it. But you were a writer, you're writing by candlelight, you're sitting there and you're like, and you're thinking and you're like, oh, and you're looking at numbers and you've got this little thingamajig and you're writing it down. It's like you're new to coming up with all these new philosophical medical combination doodads. And so in this lifetime, any kind of health issues that you would be dealing with would also trigger that major fear of, am I going to die again? Because I have things to do, and I can't happen like this again because I have to do all of this work first. So your guides are saying, tell him it's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. And then your lungs are filled with white light as well. They're filling your lungs with white light. Oh my God, I'm chilling. Okay, totally chilling. And I'm supposed to tell you that you're going to get a lot of work done. I'm supposed to tell you that. You're going to get the work done. That's really awesome. I hope it makes sense to you, but
It does.
Cool. Okay, so if you were writing a book, or if you want to write a book, write the book.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. That's really cool. It's very, very cool. All right, all right. So let's see here. Everybody is back. It moves around every now and then, which is funny. I keep losing track. Okay, so Brenda.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to read for you really quickly here. All right. Washing the energy up. I got to switch my screen. Okay. All right, Brenda. Brenda, let's set you down.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. So when I set you down, your guides actually put you on your beach. And the moment I set you down, you're like a bulldog. You're like, okay, get that over there, put that down there, stop. No, you don't, you go back over there. You're like directing, and you are delegating, and you're leading people and telling them what to do and how to do it. And it has nothing to do with you. This is not like you are doing a stage production or running your own business. This is you telling other people. It's like, it would be like me saying, Brenda, can you go down to the local food pantry and please go manage that whole thing for us out there? And just, this is what the list is. This is what you got to do. Just go get it done. You'd be like, give me that. And you would go get it done. And again, it's not because you're doing it that you're going to make a buck off of this. It is you managing for other people how to get things done. And so that's really awesome. And that's why I was saying, wow, I like that, because this is your beach. And in essence, nobody belongs on your beach except you. But you are getting all of these items ready for people on your beach. Now, what that tells me, what are you wearing too? You're barefoot. You're in a pair of slacks of some kind, but they're all like capri pants. You've got on a tank top with like a little, very almost transparent kind of over like a cardigan jacket of some kind. And the water is to the left of you. You've got like three boats on the beach. That's unheard of. Okay. You've got a bunch of stools lined up on your beach. You've got trays of food. Okay, this is not because you like to throw parties. It's not. It is because you would do really well in law, the legal system, counseling. I just got the chills again. I love when my guys do that because they're like, yes. Okay. Talking sense into families, bringing families together, or straightening people out, kind of unsquiggling them, helping heal them, set them on a right path, kind of a thing. And so what this says is that you are organized, your whole life, everything about it is nothing to do with you. You are setting up this beach right now for anybody who is out on the water, who is in the water, and who is drowning. And what they do is they come up for a short time, they can sit in a chair, they can get some food. You're like, are you okay? Are you doing better? Okay, good, now go. You can't stay here. You're okay. I fed you. You are not tired anymore. I'm not enabling you. We'll go back out in the water, figure it out. And so you are, again, not enabling people, which is huge. You're providing the people who are lost with the proper tools to be able to pick themselves up, and you are helping them. I would also want to put you some kind of like counseling of some kind where people have been struggling with something for a long time. So law, legal, or counseling. And it's because you're compassionate and you have this nature that draws people in, and the compassionate, it's like you want to hug them, but then you're no nonsense at the same time. So you're able to say, okay, that's good. All right, now I gave you your hug. Now shoo. It's just something about it that draws people to you where they know they're safe. Let's put it that way. They know they are safe with you. And you are also the type of person, because you've got, now this is what's interesting, because you're dressed for the beach, you're barefoot, so nothing is holding you back. You have your tank top on, which represents your strength. It's a light color, which says that you have high faith. But then you have this little bolero thing on that it's invisible. It's almost transparent, invisible. But what this means is this is your protection. Like this is a layer that you put on that protects you from the people outside. So you are aware that at some point you need to protect yourself. So you have this little jacket on that you can get close, but it's also going to protect you from the negative energies that are out there. So you're aware that your mind and your spirit are aware that you're going to put yourself around people, be it strangers or friends or family, that may not serve you well or maybe toxic to you. And so you put this little protective coat on. But it's really cool because you are definitely serving people in a compassionate way and in a strong way, and not enabling them. So you do have a little old lady who's coming through who smells, I swear to you, she smells like grape jam. She just smells like grape jam. She is she's shorter. I'm 5'6" and she's shorter than me. She's got, they're like loafery looking shoes with a little bit of a heel to them, but they're darker, like a little gray. And then the dress, it's not even a dress, I'm sorry. It's a skirt and a top or a blouse that comes down. And they look to be like an eggplant color, a dark gray or dark purple color. And she is salt and pepper. She has a little hat on, and as she's walking up, she wants me to acknowledge the way she's walking is a little bit of a shuffle. I'm not sure if she's got a cane in her right hand or what, but she wants me to acknowledge that in life she would have had a slower walk or a slower shuffle. So this would almost feels like a great grandmother to you, but she smells like grapes or grape jam. And she's telling you to hustle. She's going, hustle, tell her to hustle. Tell her not to miss that ride. Tell her to hustle. And so you've got something. Oh, the boats. And then I'm going to move on. That's what she's talking about. Thank you. You've got these 3 boats that are sitting here. You have put off yourself and your own opportunities long enough. And God is like, I've got these 3 boats. You've got to pick a boat and you've got to go out on the water. You've got to go do this. So this almost feels like a degree or you completing some form of education that is graduate or higher up. There's something to do with you educationally that you need to get on one of these boats and go for it. And then grandma is like, tell her to hustle, tell her to go and do this. What is she waiting for? And it feels like finally you're going to be able to focus on you. And God is presenting you with all these opportunities. So go for them. Absolutely make them happen. They're yours to have. But I'm thinking one of them has to do with completion of a degree or higher education.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, grandma says her feet are better. I don't know what that means. It almost feels like she would have had like really bad, I don't know if that's a bunion or what, but her feet not hurting anymore. So, well, you know who I'm talking about. Okay. I'm glad she came through with that. Oh, I just got the chills again. All right. So she's just letting you know that. Okay. That's right. She's saying, don't cry. It's me. Don't cry. Don't cry. That's awesome. But she can walk, and that's the point. She can walk. Yay. Okay. All right. All right. So Rosie, let's grab you. Sun's going down on you, girl. All right. There we go. You don't have to turn it on for me. I'm good. I was just thinking you're sitting out in the dark and she's like, I got to go. When is Rebecca going to read me? Oh my gosh. All right.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. So Rosie. All right. Let's see here. What's going on with you? Okay. All right. So Rosie, I was just about to, I was actually watching you walk. Okay. So up on the dunes above the beach is the house and there is a garden. And that's where you were actually first walking. And the house is a representation of you specifically. And then everybody has a garden. And the garden represents our ability to give of ourselves, of our time, of our own energy, and that sort of a thing. I'm so sorry. Grandma is still talking about her feet. And she's off to the side. So I'm going to let her sit there. I'm just going to leave her there because she's still doing that. And so that's where you started off, Rosie. But then all of a sudden I'm watching you walking and then you've got like 5 or 6 people like, oh my gosh, let's go talk to Rosie. Who are these people? Why are they on our beach? But they're obviously passed over. So when a person starts off down below and you walk up the dunes, off to the left, there is a field and it's kind of fenced in where people who have passed over will come through. And you have a gentleman who's very loud that is in this crowd. And I swear he looks like he's instrumental or he's musical. And he's playing some form of a horn. And you've got this is like 5 people. It looks like 2 grandmothers. Hi. And that looks like a grandfather. So married here. This is not a grandfather here, but this is like an uncle or somebody. And then the other guy, who is he? He's taller than the rest. He's younger as well. And he does this across his chest. So he wants me to acknowledge having been younger or passing due to something with his heart, or he wouldn't have been elderly, but it would have been a heart attack or something to do with lung, heart area. Okay. So I want to, and the one guy is playing music and the others are just, the grandmothers are not dancing. They're kind of just walking, but they're excited. They're like, yay, and they're walking behind you. So I have to point that out. August is also coming through. So August being like the number 8, they want me to acknowledge the number 8, or August, the 8th of the month, or 8 days, that kind of a thing. So 8 is an important number for you. Want me to talk about that. And then they're also talking about it being a celebration. So it's almost, see, now I do not see death in any way. God does not give that to me. It's none of my business. We do not need to worry about our own or somebody else's death. However, they're talking about someone who may have just recently passed or passed within the last few months that they would have been celebrating having shown up, because it feels like they want to present like a cake of some kind. They want me to talk about a cake. It can also be a birthday cake, but it's a celebration. And they're saying something about having welcomed someone. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect from them a moment. And they also have a white dog. There's a dog, a white or cream colored dog with them. Okay, so I switch my view here really quickly from my distance. Okay, let's alter that a moment. Okay, so getting with you in front of the house. It's so weird. I have to change. I actually have to change the view. I know, isn't that weird? Standing with you, Rosie, you are standing in front of the house, and the house will be off to you about your 11 o'clock, and the garden is off to about your 1 o'clock. And you're standing there like this, and you're looking at everything like, what am I going to tackle first? You should always put your own mask on first. I'm not talking about like a COVID mask. I'm talking about like when they tell you on the airplane to like, put your mask on first in case there's an issue, so then you can help the other people around you. Your house represents you, and it's a beautiful little cottage. It's very humble. It says, come on in. I have food. I have coffee. If you want wine, I'll dig up some wine. We've got bean bags and lava lamps, and I'll give you everything squishy that you need. Just come on in. The door is wide open. And this represents the type of person you are, that if somebody calls on you unexpectedly, you're like, oh my God, I was in the middle of like 12 things. Come on in. I'm not bothered at all. I will stop everything for you. I'm not. You knock on my door. I'm not expecting you. I'm like, shut up. Everybody don't move. Who is it? You know, I'm like telling the dogs, I'm like, shut up. Don't anybody move. I don't know who's here. So that is so different. I get it. But you're just like, oh my God, come on in. I would never make you feel unwanted. So you are always taking care of people and making them feel important. What you need to do is offer yourself that same compassion. Rosie, girl, you need to look in the mirror. Rosie, you have done a great job today, but you need a break, girl. I want you to go sit down, and I want you to do nothing for the rest of the night. Like, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and give yourself that same compassion, because you're about to go finish gardening before you even go in and tend to what the house needs, which is you. So the thing that's really cool about the garden is that we harvest it. You know, we reap everything from there. God is the one who sows every single one of those plants. And what he says is, this is strength. Every one of these is strength. And when you can no longer go on with your own self and your own ego and your own energy, come pull from this garden and I will supply you with what you need. We all have those. So everybody always has to think, I can't do it anymore today. I'm going to go pull from my garden. Just think of that. And you're over there going, okay, what do I have to do this week? What do I have to do for blah, blah, blah? Okay, I need how many? And you're ready to garden. You're ready to pull out of the garden because you're like, I can't do anything else because I'm losing my mind. But I'm going to keep a smile on my face and I'm going to go pull from my garden. And that's what you're doing. And it's like, how does she do this without losing her mind? And I'm looking at this going, this is a woman who, when nobody's looking, takes 5 minutes to cry into a pillow in the bathroom when nobody's looking. And then she gets out, she's like, oh, I feel so much better. I had to wash my face, and nobody knows that you're struggling ever. Because 1, your faith is so high, and 2, because you don't want to share that with people. You don't want people to see that there would be any kind of issue that you feel like you have to throw up on them. And so you keep it to yourself, you deal with it. And God wants me to recognize for you and acknowledge all the conversations that you have with him when you're just like, I can't do this. Give me some strength because I can't do this right now. And you're like, I'm better. I'm so great. And so I want, I guess, to recognize that somebody up there knows that you're, pressing on every day to be the best that you can be. And that's the best. That's so cool that they said that, because I once asked, what am I supposed to do? Like, I am so imperfect. I have to ask people, like, what do I respond with? Because I'm about to hurt somebody with my words. And so I have to pray about things sometimes, and I have to ask for help. And what they're saying is, when I asked, they said, Rebecca, just do your best all the time. Always do your best. And I said, okay, that's easy. I can always do as long as you're doing your best, you can't go wrong. And so I'm supposed to recognize for you that it is time for you to go into your house. This is an order, carton of ice cream, whatever flavor you like, maybe a glass of wine or a cup of coffee, which you choose, bean bags, lava lamps, Netflix movie, take care of you. So that's what God is saying. He appreciates that you're always entrusting, yourself and your issues with him, but you also have to take care of you. Very important. He's like beating a dead horse. Like, your guides are making me repeat this. So you're probably not going to listen, are you? You're going to be like, no, I have too much to do. People like you are usually healthcare workers or something. People like you are usually those who just know that they have to, no matter what, as tired as they are, they have to keep trucking to help other people. And that's usually a healthcare mentality. So a nurse of some kind. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You're welcome. Okay. So boop, 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 boop. Okay. All right. Not Megan. What did you say your name was? I'm sorry.
Tara.
Tara. I knew it was a T. I didn't want to. Tara. All right. So Tara, the first thing that comes through for you, it feels like a young male energy that's going to come through. I'm not sure if he's for you or if he's for someone around you, but he feels like he would have left a little too soon, or what people would have felt was too soon. And it feels vehicular, some form of vehicular accident. Is there, I think that's what he said. Is there someone around you, and this is more of a rhetorical question, you don't even have to answer it, but it almost sounded like he was saying Angela or Angela, or Angela, something to that effect. And I went, Ashley, Angela? And then it was gone. And that's why I thought, am I misinterpreting it? I had to listen for a minute. But it feels like he is using you as a messenger to pass on a message to someone around you with that sound or with that name, to say, tell her I'm okay. Tell her I'm okay. And it was not some screwing around. He wants her to know that he looked down for a minute, not even, that it was just like, oh, what was that? And then an accident occurred. And that it was not something that was negligent, I guess. It was a mistake, and maybe somebody doesn't even want to hear that, but it was not negligence on his part, or any intoxicated driving or anything. But he's using you as a messenger to pass on this, to let her know. It feels like mom. I mean, I'm wondering if you have a cousin or a family member, a friend, or somebody with like Ashley or Angela that lost a son, and it feels like he would have been in his late teens, early 20s. He looks young. And
I don't know.
he's so clear. He's so clear. How about your daughter? Can you ask her if she knows of somebody that could pass that message on and see if,
Yeah.
ask her if she knows an Ashley or an Angela who is related to a young man who died in a car accident.
Yeah.
Okay. And then let me know too, get on the feed at some point or email me and let me know.
Okay.
Because it's so perfectly clear. And before I even got to you, he was standing there waiting for me to give you that message.
Wow. Okay.
And and the dog there's a dog by him, but the dog looks like one of those, I don't even know what it is. It's a short, fat, it's not a dachshund, but it's one of those short to the ground dogs that's longer. And it's usually like cream and white colored with perky, like up ears. I don't even know what kind of dog it is. Somebody knows what kind of dog this is, and they will let us know what kind of dog it is. And I'm trying to think, what have I seen that dog? I've seen it somewhere, but it looks like a long, short to the ground, fatter, wiener dog with pointy ears. And this dog is with him. So that is somehow for you. So back to you. Okay. And there's a K. It sounds like K around his name. I don't know if it's Keith or Ken, but K comes through around him.
Okay.
K, K, K. He won't stop talking. He's also talking like candy canes. So this must be something around Christmas. I don't know. Yeah, like candy canes, and he won't stop talking. He's very adamant. Just on. Okay. So I am going to. I feel so bad. I'm sorry. I gotta cut you off. He's not stopping. Okay. I wonder if it's Ashley. Because the way he's saying it sounds like Ashley. Okay, I'm gonna disconnect there. Oh, I feel so badly. He's like, no, wait. We'll finish that conversation. We'll pick it up. Okay, I'm gonna leave him over there for a minute and disconnect from his energy. Okay, so now I'm gonna be able to, it just happens, when they come through like that, they will take up the whole channel. I can't do anything about it. And he's got a message for somebody around you. It's very strong. Okay. So for you, let's set you down on your beach. Let's see where you are at. Okay. So when I put you down, and the coolest thing about what I do is in order to find out more about a situation, I can put things in front of someone or I can hand them things. And you're on your beach and you were kind of just wandering around, very content, no issues. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Very content, no issues. Almost at a place of resolution, it feels like. Just kind of like, I'm okay on my beach. I'm happy on my beach. I am finally in love with myself. I'm finally figuring myself out. I'm finally okay with just peace and quiet and not talking. So there is this contentment about you on your beach. And that is how fast it happened, because then I'm like, and then I turned you and I go, but what about the water? If she's so content, what about the water? And when I get you to look at the water, you go, I'm not interested in the water. I just don't care about the water. So what that means, opportunities that you have to go and seek out would appear on the water. And the fact that you are very content with everything on your beach, you're like, I don't even want that. That means that the opportunities of people, places, things, money, finances, all of the opportunities that are going to come to you right now in the way of personal positive growth, they are already in front of you or networked into what you and who you know. That means that you don't have to do anything right now except breathe, go about your day, doing what you're doing that makes you feel good, because whatever that you want to do, whatever God wants you to do, he's going to present to you with already like, oh my God, I knew you wanted to do this and I saw it. So I was like, here, she's got it. And it'll come to you. Oh, awesome. Opportunities, people will present them to you. Jobs, people, it will present to you. There is things, they will all find their way, but there is a contentment about you that is very peaceful and very happy. And it's taken a long time for you to get to this place, because there's always been a part of you that has striven to make other people happy and live for what they want, not for what you want. And it feels like you broke that mold. Painfully, you broke the mold, but you broke it, meaning there has been an instance in your life and as I'm talking about it too, they're trying to convey this importance. It makes me want to throw up a little bit, because it feels like a bust to my stomach, where I am having to make choices and changes in my life that I know they're going to hurt people and they're going to upset people. And I have to do it for my own good, for my own sanity, for my own life. And as you do this, it's kind of like you stand up straighter and taller, and that kind of success and lesson, it's something that nobody can take away from you, and it's something you never forget, because you'll never go through an experience like that again where you ever have to live through that again, if that makes sense. But yeah. I'm going to tell you, really, the way that I see you on your beach is so rare. I don't ever remember ever seeing anybody like that on their beach. No, I just haven't. And I think part of it is you probably shouldn't even be here right now. Yet you are so content with yourself on your beach that you don't need anybody. You choose to have people around you that you want around you, but you don't need anyone. And again, you have dealt with some really difficult relationships, and you shouldn't be here right now. It feels like you've gone through something that tested every bit of your desire to live, I guess, if that makes sense. Yeah. And you're not jaded, which is great. You're still a nice person.
Yeah. That's what I'm told.
You're still a nice person who's not hateful and judgmental. You're still a good person. And that kind of information, that is something that's so important, because that's something that you can readily share, and hopefully people go, she's been there, she understands. And then, because nobody wants, I'm going to tell you what, people who need help, they don't want help from somebody who's not walked the walk. They want help from someone who has experience in it and who has that compassion already built into them. And they don't want someone who's some medical doctor or psychiatrist saying, well, I think what you need to know. They want someone who has completely been down in the dregs, who has felt it, who has been broken by whatever that experience is, and go, this is how I pick myself up. And there's a lot, that's why you should be in like human resources or people management, because you're so good at it. The compassionate aspect of who you are, you're able to really manage people well, and they don't know it. They don't know you're managing them because you feel like a mentor instead. What is this? Oh, my husband just brought me a tea, and it says, when the dawn of simplicity comes in life, complications leave. Is that for you? I mean, seriously, look at this. Can you see it? I don't know if you guys can see that up close. Oh, probably not. No, it won't let, it's not a good enough camera. But that was really poignant, that would be right for you. That's really excellent. Okay, I love that. When the dawn of simplicity comes in life, complications leave. What? I mean, it's your read. It's your read right here on a yogi tea bag. Oh my gosh, we just summed you up right there in a yogi tea bag. right. That's really awesome. Okay. And last but not least is Lori. Lori. All right. You guys have all such amazing energy, and I'm going to talk about a couple of things too, but I'm going to do Lori real fast, and then I'll answer questions and all that stuff. But you guys have such great energy, and just recognize before I'm kind of washing everybody off, doing like a scrub real quick, Lori, before I start yours. But just recognize the importance of the fact that you guys are even here tonight. There's other people watching on YouTube right now. That everybody who is paying any attention to this or seeking answers is because you guys are realizing that there is so much more to life than just getting up and going about your day. We are greater spiritual beings. We are powerful. We have an ability to make major changes in this world that affect each and every one of us positively. And so waking up to this idea is terrifying because we're only just one little person. And so just know that you guys are all doing something, even though you don't know how big it is yet. There's something that you're doing that is improving the world around you. And that's the more of us that there are, the better off we are, because the more who are awakening to going, wait a second, I'm not just on a conveyor belt. I'm actually able to make things happen. That's what's so important. And I don't know, bringing spirit into the whole mix, that's what we should be doing. All right, so Lori, let's take a look at you. I'm gonna shake it up a little bit. Lori, okay, I see you. Everybody's on their beach tonight. That's so odd. Maybe, did we just have like a new moon or something, or?
Yesterday.
When was it?
Yesterday.
Oh, that would make sense. The new moon brings about all of these completion cycles. So now we're into a new one. I'm sorry, the new moon brings about new beginning cycles. The full moon ends those complete. So that would make sense because everybody's kind of starting off at square one right now. Very peaceful. So for you, Lori, when I set you down, you're on your beach and you are in a long gown that's almost a periwinkle color. And yeah, it is periwinkle color. And you're on a beach, but you're in like a ball gown. You kind of look like Cinderella a little bit, or whatever, Sleeping Beauty or whatever you want to, whatever princess is out there. It's totally inappropriate for the beach, but I'll let you have it. Anyway, what it means is, one, remain calm. It's multi-layered. It's a multi-layered dress. And so it is heavy and it's hot. And as beautiful as it is, it's this blue color. It's a mixture. It's a purpley blue. So you have the blue side that's saying stay calm, remain calm, but you've got the blue side that is also saying that there is a high form of intuition, and psychicness. I hate that word. So I'm supposed to tell you, one, you are not crazy, okay? I'm also supposed to tell you that you have, I want to almost say that you may have gone through life thinking that maybe you had like a hyperactivity, or that there was something that, personality-wise may have been different, and it wasn't that it was something that needed medicating, is what I'm saying. It's not something that is uncontrollable or off. It is to do with your energy that maybe other people wouldn't recognize or understand. And if everybody wants to try to diagnose or put a label on something, it can make us feel really weird. I mean, for a long time, can you imagine as a 13-year-old doing what I do? I thought I was schizophrenic. I seriously thought I was like dying and going to hell, and I thought I was schizophrenic. And so nobody knew I was going through it. Nobody knew what I was dealing with or seeing. And so when and this was way before we had ghost hunters, and ghost hunting was absolutely a thing, and people see it. This wasn't even a thing. It was just not a thing growing up. And so when you're dealing with a gift of any kind, Lori, for you, this cross between this high intuition, this high empathy that you've got going on, it can sometimes be misconstrued and misdiagnosed. And a lot of times medical doctors, even psychiatrists, will not want to approach these kinds of things because, one, they can't be scientifically totally proven. And you cannot treat what you've got going on when it's spiritual with a drug. You just can't. And so that's one of the things is I'm supposed to tell you, you're not nuts. Two, you obviously have high empathy, which makes you a highly sensitive individual. And not like you're like, oh, I'm so sensitive. It's not like that. It is a sensitivity to the universal collective. So if you're going to wake up in the morning, and empathic people will all feel this way, that when you wake up and something bad is happening in the world, whatever we are throwing up as a collective, you're feeling. So if it's a bad day, you might have high anxiety. You might be stressed out. It may affect your relationships in a way where you are unable to really become vulnerable with those relationships because you're feeling so many things. It's like, do I feel vulnerable or am I going to get hurt? And so you may feel like you're alone in this world. Even if you're surrounded by a lot of people, you may find yourself feeling really alone and unable to connect. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just understanding that this is just who you are spiritually. This is just who you are as a person. There's nothing wrong with any of it. It is realizing that you are high empathy and that you feel for other people. It is recognizing and saying, this is who I am. This is how I feel. This is how I experience. This is how I see things. I am not crazy. I am not an anxious person. I am not a depressed person. I just feel things greatly. And so recognizing and acknowledging these things helps us to say, instead of labeling that this is one way or another, you're able to say, I'm going to allow myself a few hours to feel what is going on in this world. And it may make me happy or sad, but I'm not going to claim that as my own. I'm not going to claim that as me. I'm not going to put my signature on that. And those moments you have to acknowledge. It saves us from getting into a serious funk. And I'll tell you what, there are days when it feels so good to do nothing but be funky and to just sit back and have your own little pity party. There are days we have to do that because it allows us to go, okay, I have not showered. I feel grimy, stinky, scrubby. And what I suggest is when you have a day like that, Lori, when you have a day where you're high empathy and you're feeling, and this goes for everybody right now, if you're having a day when you are opening up to the world and the universe and you are allowing some of the crazy things that are going on right now, I just say stay away from it all, but it's just impossible. Allow yourself that time to be able to experience what you're experiencing, give yourself a time limit. And then one of the best things you can do is throw on a sad movie, okay? Throw on a movie that you know for a fact is going to make you cry and sit and watch that movie and let that movie open you up. And once you just start bawling, I don't care if it's like A Dog's Purpose, if it's Old Yeller, I don't know, whatever makes you cry, allow yourself then to use that to really just get it out. Also, Lori, another thing that I'm being told to tell you is that you have a lot of self-forgiveness. Like you have to forgive. You have got to give yourself a big fat hug and you need to say, you need to close your eyes and you need to see Lori in front of you and you need to go, Lori, girl, I love you so much. And I am sorry I have let you down because we let ourselves down all the time. I am sorry I have let you down and I am here for you and I'm going to do my best to live up to what your potential is and talk to yourself. Apologize to yourself. Tell yourself how much you love you. I don't even know the name of this little thing. I learned it so long ago, but I share it because it's so meaningful. And you really come down to like this forgiveness thing. You look at yourself, you look at everybody who's ever done you wrong, who's hurt you, and you look at them and you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And if I don't care if that person beat you your entire life, you look at them and you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And then you let them go. And you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. You're letting that connection go. You're letting them go. And then you finally get to the end and you see yourself and you do the same thing. And so, Lori, a lot of this comes down to fully self-acceptance, self-love, and Spirit is just trying very hard to get you to realize that you're one of his workers. And it's very important that you allow yourself to feel, but then you get over it, you move forward. And also, no more toxic people. And then I'll answer questions. Get rid of the toxic, poopy people around you. They don't deserve, they're not worthy. And if they are not lifting you up and supporting you and going, Lori, go for it, girl. If they're doing anything but that, that's what you do. That's what you do. And it's so important because there are just too many people out there who we can magnetize to us when we're like, okay, I want someone who's going to make me laugh. That's the next person I want to come into my life. Like, we're just going to make each other laugh till we pee ourselves. That's what you're going to attract. And if you don't have a girlfriend or a guy friend like that, I can name a couple that I have a girlfriend of mine who she never came over to my house without like a suitcase full of extra underwear because we made her laugh so hard. And she had a weak bladder and we took advantage of that. But it's fun when you have people around who you just can't, attract those people to you. People who are on the same spiritual journey as you, people who are attempting to maybe find God for the first time, or who are just, artistically trying to express. Find those people and attract them to you and get rid of everybody else who is so stagnant that they're just happy in their own misery. Because misery might love company, like that little saying goes, but I don't want to hang around with anybody who's miserable. I don't think any of you guys do either. Everybody's looking up. Okay, what kind of questions do you guys have that I can answer for you? And before you guys ask, if you have a private question or something you don't want to ask here, please feel free to email or message me, and then I will answer it that way as well. So then you don't have to ask it publicly or in the group, and that's perfectly fine.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Since we've done this reading today, is it possible to do one again in the future, or would you prefer to just have us step back and do somebody else? Someone who's never done it before. No,
I usually ask that when I do a really like a phone reading or something that's more thorough, like a little bit like this, I just ask that wait until at least some of the stuff has come to pass, because I don't want to waste anybody's time or money. Yeah. And I don't want to have to repeat something I already said. And then they're like, well, crikey, I already got that message. And I want it to be able to be new or to help answer future things. Okay. So anybody's welcome to do them. And if you wanted a reading, let's say I have people else, they call me or message before you book something, because like I said, if I don't have anything for you, I don't want to just sit there and go, that's no fun. That's boring. So, and then it's just not fun for either of us. So
thought I'd ask.
Oh, that's a good question. It's a good question. Absolutely. Does anybody else have anything they want to ask?
A question about hopefully a potential contract next week. And I'm trying to see if it's a direction I need to go into or just.
Yes, it's probably that you've got this sitting there. Yes. If a contract presents to you, I'm going to tell you, each one of those boats is anchored to your beach. So whichever one you get on, you can't go wrong, because God is represented by those anchors, and the boat that you get in, he's going with you on that. Just make him your partner in everything you do. And he's going to be like, okay, let's set sail. And you have it. I mean, the way that they showed you setting everything up on your beach for everybody else, and then having those boats, you're not going to go, anywhere near the water without being fully prepared. I wouldn't think you would ever do anything hastily or being ill prepared. It would just not happen. So go for it. Are you kidding me? Yes. You do it. I'm getting the chills just talking about it. That's my like, ding, ding, ding. They touch me when that happens. It gives me the yes confirmation. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And then keep me informed. Because it looks like you're signing something.
Yeah.
Looks like yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing it.
It's a global thing that I'm working on. Hopefully it's global anyway. But I did, so it was a two-part, I'm sorry. It was about my son.
Okay. First off, yes on the signature global thing. Absolutely yes on the signature global thing. That looks like, first off, you're going to be uniting a bunch of people together from different aspects, and it almost is a past life thing. It's past life, and it'll be a completion for this time from a past life of commerce, I guess is the way to put it. So where your son is concerned, I am seeing, or I'm supposed to show you a peanut butter cookie. I know that sounds really weird, but it looks like one of those peanut butter cookies with the lines like you make it with a fork across the top. And I think peanut butter cookies are the ones that you put the fork in, you know, that have the.
Yeah, I just made them.
You just made them? You
Yeah.
did not. Oh my gosh, that is hysterical. So there's that. Now, your son, I'm going to tell you that when he presents to me, I am seeing energy about you probably about 3 or 4 years old. And the way that he comes through like this is, and I wonder if he's the one bringing up the cookies because, okay, from where I'm standing, I am looking at an island of some kind. And I wonder if it's like a cutting board or something, like a brown or a cutting board top or something that I'm supposed to acknowledge. And he's sitting on the, this way. So cookies here on the counter. He's sitting on the counter and he's kicking his legs. And he goes, "What you doing?" And he's just looking and watching you. So the way that your son's energy comes through with is like I said, 3 or 4 years old. He may have been older, but he wants me to acknowledge this, and then stripes. He's got a shirt on that's got some stripes crossing it. He what was that?
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm in my room, so I don't know.
No, and everybody else, I mean, that was really crazy. I wonder what that was. But that was, we have to go back and listen to that because that may have been some interference. It's funny because I'm looking at him and he wants me to acknowledge like allergies or something running, like a runny nose or something. And then he goes, he's talking to me too. He goes, I don't like the boogeyman, just like that. I don't like the boogeyman. And that's why I went, what? You don't like the boogeyman? So I think it's because we're talking and he sees me, but he's with you talking to your energy, but he can see me too. So he's probably wondering like, who are you? And why are you here? Because I'm remote viewing, but I'm like, I'm not the boogeyman. I'm just Rebecca. Did he have like a cat or cat allergies or something? Did he have wants me to acknowledge a cat.
He did have this horrible cat, but he did also have allergies.
Did he like to swim? Did he like the water too? Is there something about swimming or water?
Yeah, we both did.
How old was he passed?
19.
He's like your little Jiminy Cricket though. he looks like he comes through about 3 or 4 years old. And I'm going to ask him for some more recent information. Because he shows himself as like just sitting there baking cookies with you. And that may be how a lot of times energies will come through a lot younger than what they were. For whatever reason, I don't know. They just do. So I'm just going to have a small conversation really quickly. Okay. So strange. I wonder what that is. Now, is his?
Waves.
I know, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, do you have a, well, his room, was it like a light blue color or a gray or something? Blue or gray? He's showing me what looks to be like a blue or gray room. And then he's showing me a picture in a white, it looks like a white frame. But it looks like black and white, like a black and white photo or something. She's going to get it. Oh, okay. Okay. So it's like a white mat.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because I can see the mat. I can see the white part of it. And it's a black. Okay. 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 I got it. All right. I just want to hear him really quickly. See, because he feels like he's very, he wants you, he goes, I was on the right way, Mama. I was on the right way. And he says that, I just have to listen really quickly. Don't be mad. Don't be sad. Don't be mad. Don't be sad. I was on the right way. He is also, now when he's wanting me to talk, he's wanting me to talk about like up here, his throat. Like there's something here that is making it difficult for me to breathe. And I can't get past that for some reason. I'm not able to go. I guess, you know, everything else is affected, but a lot of it is that I cannot breathe. It's my neck. I can't breathe. And it's almost like he's trying to say like wrong place, wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time. He's not upset. He's not in a bad place. He's not angry. He's not anything, but he's trying to acknowledge himself or who he is. And he's also talking about sugar levels or something. So and I don't think it's for him. I think it's that he's watching someone else who doesn't have to watch their diabetes anymore.
I don't know who that is.
It's like he's with a female. This is a female. And she would have had, like, he says we get to eat all those cookies up here. And he's talking about not having to watch her diabetes anymore, and that he's keeping her under control. And he's laughing about it. He's got her like this. He goes, I'll keep her under control. And he's talking about not having to watch sugar levels anymore. Not of his, but someone else. Yeah. Female. His energy feels military. He feels like he is regimented, and he feels upstanding. He feels like mind, that only started when we started talking to your son.
The
So
way,
I'm wondering if there's going to be something picked up somewhere on that. That's really cool.
That's crazy.
He looks like he's good. He's good. And I think he's more like a Jiminy Cricket around you, meaning that little voice that you hear in the back of your head, it's him. It's just him and his little voice. And he might just come through to you more like a little boy, not your 19-year-old son. But yeah, he's there. You have a lot of people up there though. Well, there's always a lot of people up there, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, I do.
He's got great energy though. He's got good energy. He's definitely he's a good energy. Yeah. What other questions do you guys have that I can try to answer for you?
Oh,
Mhm.
I just was wondering, like my dad passed almost 2 years ago. So my sisters and I and my mom, we're just like longing to hear from him. We've had a little bit of experiences, but I'm not sure if you see him around me.
Well, it looks like he would have been blowing out quite a few light bulbs around your mom. He looks like,
there's that wave again.
I know. Yeah, see? I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from. I've never had it happen. But he blows out the light bulbs around your mom. His energy smells like a pound cake, like a vanilla pound cake, like lady fingers or something, or vanilla crack. Like he wants me to acknowledge like vanilla. And let me try and move him a minute. Let me see something a second. Let me take these off a minute. Okay. That sounded like someone talking and nobody is moving here. Did you guys hear that? That's cool. Okay.
I just heard that again.
Sounds like somebody's talking or trying to talk.
It's almost like a white noise coming through.
Yeah, exactly. And then every now and then you'll hear like a verb of some kind or verbiage of noise, trying to use somebody's electronics to vocalize,
Yeah.
which is
But
really
it's
cool.
only coming through the Zoom. It's not like it's a group thing. It's not coming through like my phone personally to cause you to hear it.
Really? You're not hearing it anywhere else? Interesting. I wonder if everybody
It's not in my room anyways.
on YouTube. Okay, so I'm wondering if let's see something a minute. I'm going to check something really quick. Looking to see if anybody else was hearing that. I don't think so, and I don't know if everybody is still looking on this. Okay, well, not. No, I was looking to see if anybody else could hear that, but I don't think they can. All right. Okay, so about your father. Sorry, it's weird now, it's going away. Okay. And now I talked about it and it's coming back. Okay.
There it is again.
It is so cool. I'm gonna have to go back and listen.
And you
So-
know, the screens light up green whenever sound is coming through of who's sending the sound. And it's coming through with different people. It's not just coming through on your screen. It's Megan's screen isn't lighting green when it comes through. The young lady with the tattoo, I don't know her name, but it's not lighting up green when the sound's coming through.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's crazy. I'll take
You'll have to
it.
watch it later.
I know. We'll have to watch and see if anything came through. All right. So let's take a look really quickly at that and see. But again, he smells like a vanilla wafer. Vanilla, very. I'm trying to put him into which house he's at. And it's funny, he's got a little bit of a sense of humor, but it's a dry humor. And the way that he talks is like, why would I want to go hang out? I just got back from there. Why do I want to go? And he's laughing. He's like, was he outnumbered by women or something? Because he makes it sound like he was like the only guy hanging around besides the dog or something. And even then, I'm sorry, I have to correct. And even then, he was outnumbered. So he makes it sound, his sense of humor comes through in a way that he does come and visit you guys a lot. And that heaven's the only place he gets any peace and quiet. He's happy that you guys are all getting along. He is happy that, is it you and do you have two sisters? Is there three of you?
There's myself and three sisters and a brother.
Okay, so three sisters plus you. Okay. He's not talking about your, oh, okay. So your brother would be like outnumbered. I get it. Okay. So, cause there's four of you girls, I can't imagine. So 4 of you. So it's 3 sisters plus you, not you and 3. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
He says he's glad you guys are all getting along. Now, there does seem to be, though, the one sister that doesn't meld well with the rest of you, and that feels like the youngest sister. Does that make sense? He puts one of you out of the picture that seems a little more idea oriented, and instead of going along with the whole row of things, somebody always has new ideas or has to keep her in line. I don't know, he makes it sound funny, like there's always a troublemaker in the group. But he's glad that you guys are all getting along. Telling you to make sure that your mom, now, when it comes to health things, they're preventive. You know, God never gives information that is like, oh, well, you're screwed, you're dealing with this. He never does that. He always gives information that helps to prevent illness or to help someone to treat something. And so what he's talking about seems to be several things for your mom. And he says that one of them is probably oxygen levels or dizzy spells. Making sure that it's not her ears, making sure that she's, getting enough oxygen and her circulation is good. That's one thing. And then her back, making sure that her back is okay. I don't know if she fell or if she's dealing with a previous injury, but he's talking about her back and the way that she's able to move or not move. Like the stiffness of moving seems to trickle down into her hips. And so making sure that those things are all monitored for her. And that her hearing seems to be affected somehow, or that she's not hearing very well. And it might be frustrating for her that she is not able to hear as well as she was before. And that may be part of the dizziness aspect as well, as maybe the crystals or something is going on. And maybe she's got some slight vertigo. Maybe it's just her ears. And to keep an eye on those things. And he goes, and I'm up here with her mother. That was almost Archie Bunker like. He was like, I'm up here with her mother. Sorry, that was funny. That was really funny. Oh my gosh. It's like, it was so sarcastic. It's like, I'm so excited. Oh, that is so funny. Oh, that was good. That was good. So he's very funny. He checks on you guys a lot. He spends his peaceful time in heaven, and then when he wants any excitement, he comes down and visits you guys. Yeah, but he's good. He's in a good place.
Thank you.
Good place. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's funny. That was funny.
He's a funny guy.
That is hysterical. All right. Did you guys have any more questions?
I have
I
one.
do.
I was wondering about my son.
This is Rosie.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, wait, turn on the light.
No, you're fine.
Oh,
Rosie,
okay.
the one thing I pick up about your son, he's living, correct? I'm looking in the right place. The one thing I pick up about him is this is the kind of situation that you can only do so much, and you can only plant so many seeds in the hopes that someone's going to take with what you've given them and, run with it and actually do something with it.
Well, my son passed on already.
Okay. Let me finish about this person. So if this isn't a living son that I'm talking about right here, is this a nephew or somebody that you have? Let me keep going with him first, because it's really right up there.
Okay.
So this young man that they're showing, he, again, okay, let me get back here. So he said, I'm being shown that he is not taking the advice that he's supposed to be taking. He's not listening. And it's not like this is it can get a person in trouble in a way, but mostly it's trouble with the self, because it's almost a lack of, is there a P around a young male around you? So either a son, possibly a nephew, but it would be someone close enough to you that this would affect your life personally. Because when I'm reading somebody, and that was one of it's somebody living, because that's when you first said my son, I'm like, okay, boom, there was a face, and they said, and he's living. And I went, oh, okay, so this is who I'm talking about. But this is, I think, a P initial, P or an R, the way that it looks. And I do hear an R, so I don't know if it's like Pedro or Perry or something to that effect. But the downfall here is not so much to get him in trouble societally, like a society, I can't even speak, in society, but it's more of a personal worthiness that he is not going to hold himself at a high enough level or high enough bar. And so everything he does will only kind of raise a little bit. And it's not in everybody else's eyes, in yours, in mom's and everybody's eyes, it'll be that he can do so much more, but for whatever reason, no matter how much you tell him or how you tell him that, it's not good enough. It's not what he wants to hear or thinks it's even true. Like, oh, you're just supposed to say that because you're so-and-so. And this is somebody that will be in your life that I'm hearing, as far as this goes, this almost feels like a tough love situation where you're going to have to give everything you can, plant everything you can, and then walk away, because it's free will and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, now, again, this is somebody, a young male in your life that you will have some form of connection with, because it wouldn't come through unless it was something that would affect your life either positively or negatively, depending on how it goes. So as far as your son goes, all right, let me take a peek here. Let me see if I can see him. Okay. Okay, so Rosie, putting you on your beach, looking for your son. A young man walks out of the water and walks up to you, and you are in just a very, very plain outfit. There's really nothing to acknowledge about it other than it's in like a high spirit color, very pale, bland colors, very humble colors. And he walks out of the water, and his words to you are that he was drowning, that he was going through a lot in his life. Now, what's interesting is the energy around him made me feel like, if I watched him walk out, I go, gosh, he looks like a hero. He looks like a hero walking out of the water. And he looks to me like somebody who would be very protective of the people around him, very strong. He looks like a hero. And it would look to me like somebody who maybe it was one of those souls that had so much to bear and just didn't know how to bear it. But he looks like a hero. I'm supposed to acknowledge that. And I just want to listen real quick. You're Rosie. Okay. He hands you what looks like a handkerchief and tells you don't cry for him. And the handkerchief, I swear that looks like a cursive, like an L or something, because it goes like an S or an L. From my angle, the curves of it either look like an L or an S. And he hands that to you, and he's taller than you. I mean, he's taller than you, maybe by a foot. I mean, he looks much taller than you. The way he presents, I look at him, I'm like, gosh, he looks like a hero. And he says not to cry for him, and he says that he's always there. He also is talking about you either having just moved or moving, and something about a new house. And that he smells the incense. He smells the incense. He smells the smells. He smells the scents. Supposed to talk about that. But he's there. Do you have his picture like on a table? Do you have his picture? I know that sounds weird, but on a table or something.
At the entrance, I have a picture of him on a table.
Is there like a curtain or a curve above it? Is there something that is like I don't know, almost looks round above it? I don't know if it's a window or if you've got something above it. It's like presented like almost like a bit of a halo looking thing, but it looks round above his head.
Niche.
Yeah, exactly, like a niche or something like you put like a virgin, like the virgin, like one of those things where you would have it cut out in the wall and you could put like a Virgin Mary or something in there. It looks like something like that, something you would have like in a church. I know that sounds weird, but yeah.
Someone gave me a photo of him, and I believe it has that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, what was his name?
His name was Jose.
Jose. Okay. I have to do his signature. I just want to see if I can see it. I don't know. I don't know if that could be a J. I don't know if that can be a J. Let me find a blank piece of paper here. This is going to be backwards. But from what I'm looking at, that oh, I'm so bad at this. It's backwards. So hold on. It goes up, swirls, and does this. See, that looks like an L to me. It's from my perspective, This is so hard. From my perspective, it looks like it's backwards to you guys, but it goes up and it curls and then it goes down. That's why I thought this is an L. It could be a J, but I thought like an L or an S, but an S would be like that. See, because that's like an S. See how confusing it is? Because I'm looking at a handkerchief. Oh, you guys can't see it. But it just goes like this and then it swirls down. That's what's like you said, an S or an L, but it could be a J. But he hands you a handkerchief with his initial on it. And I thought it was like an L or an S. So I did not hear Jose though. Yeah, kind of, it's swirly like that. Exactly. It's hard for the green screen behind me.
That's a J.
Oh, that was Michelle doing that. Sorry, I was.
That's a J.
Yeah, it could very well be that because I'm looking at it sideways. It's very possible. I did not hear Jose. I just saw the initials, but he looks like he's very strong. And is there a big break in age between siblings with him or something?
He was my only son.
He's your only son? Because it's like I'm not seeing anything for a long, well, that would make sense, for a long time, because I don't see any other kids around him. So that would thank you for that. Sometimes I don't think. Okay. This probably doesn't help, but he would have been an excellent teacher. Because of his desire to change other people's pathways and to help them before they get out in the world. He would have made a great teacher. So he wanted you to know that too, that he would have liked to have taught. Interesting.
He told me that before he passed.
Oh, he did. Okay, well then that's a confirmation for you. Okay. Interesting. All right. Well,
I have a question.
yes.
Well, I have two actually. So the first one is I've been released from my position at work because of COVID, because I couldn't return to work. And it's been my career pretty much my whole life, my lifelong career. And I was hoping maybe you might pick on some direction that I could possibly go or where I should go with as far as building a new career once the COVID thing clears up. And then also, I feel like someone has been visiting me lately, and I'm just not sure who it is. So I was hoping maybe you could tell me who's been visiting lately.
Okay. Well, as far as the career, I'm reminded about what they had said before as far as the spiritual aspect of your character and who you are. And I am looking at this whole situation, even putting you in a career aspect right now is definitely not even a time for you to worry about it. I know you're like, what? But it's not a time for you to be concerned with it. And that is because this is more of a time of attrition. And we are, I was talking about this last night too, but it is a time where things that are no longer serving us are taken from our lives. And sometimes it's a blessing and sometimes it's like, what the heck am I going to do now? And it is also a time for you to not sit there and go, now, how do I fix this? How am I going to do this? How do I make this happen? Because it will present itself to you in due time. I really want to just tell you, just sit back and wait, and don't think that you have to go out and make it happen. You're going to know when it's time for you to pick up and start figuring it out. Things will start to present to you. They will start to unfold in front of you, and then you'll be able to look at them and go, oh, okay, now I can, now I know what direction to go to. I know what to do because it's presenting to me. So right now, don't worry about it. Seriously, take a bit of a mental break. That's where my book is titled, God, Please Tie My Shoes. Because just like us, like so many times our kids will go, Mommy, will you tie my shoes? And you go to tie their shoes and oh, wait, I'm going to do it. And then they get down there and they want to keep tying their shoes. And it's like, do you want me to tie your shoes? Are you going to stop? Because I got stuff to do, and stop, you know, and finally they'll take their hands away and we can tie their shoes and get on with it. And when we ask, you know, God, can you help me here? I need some help, blah, blah, blah. Well, what do? We go back to trying to tie our shoes. It's like, just let him do it for you and they will be tied sufficiently. And so just don't try to do
about it.
No, don't.
I just bought your book, as a matter of fact. So,
yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think. As far as the person that's in your house, that feels like an elderly man, but it doesn't feel like anyone associated to you personally. It feels like he comes and checks in on things and then he leaves. I don't think he doesn't feel negative. I don't know if he's even aware that you're there. You may be in his path or around, but I don't think he is even paying attention to you. It looks like he's looking more for someone else that's not there anymore either. But it feels
do you pick up on readings when you're doing readings? Do you possibly pick up on other people that are in the room? Because you were talking earlier and you mentioned the letter R, and a person that's not listening because you're not telling them what they want to hear because they've heard it a million times, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like you were talking to me about my brother that is staying with me right now.
Oh.
Do you pick up on things like that possibly when you're reading one person?
Absolutely. If you've got, especially if you've got someone sitting next to you or around you that I don't see, if that's the case, that person can very well just jump in front of your energy and not meaning to, but I will start reading them as well. So whenever I'm on the phone and I'll start reading, I'm like, wait, this is not for you. Who's with you? Oh, well, my mom is sitting next to me. I'm like, well, crikey. Okay, because I'm reading your mom right now. So it happens all the time. It happens.
Yeah, I think you were reading Lori. I'm not sure, but you had said those things, and you said the letter R, and that the person was living, and it just fell so in place with me and my brother, whose name is Robbie. So.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Very interesting. And that's very possible. You know, in a group setting, I always tell people, if I am reading for you and it sounds appropriate to you, and I should have probably said something, but I never considered it in this scenario because everybody's apart from one another. But people will inadvertently jump in front of someone else and I'll end up reading them. And sometimes I'll do galleries and I'll have people with, this is no joke. I did a gallery and this old man named Joe came through with a truck and a dog and a plane and a train. And it ended up that 3 people, when I was done, came up and said, that's my Grandpa Joe. This is his truck. I have his keys in my pocket. And all of them tied into this same, that's why it was so hard to pull them apart, because there was 3 people that it made sense for, and it was just a fluke that they all were looking to hear from a Grandpa Joe and a truck and a train and a dog and some key. It was so weird. And so at that point I was like, okay, if you hear it and it makes sense, raise your hand so I know to separate the energies. Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I was scolding him the other day, and a photo of my grandmother that I have on a magnet on the refrigerator fell off the refrigerator, and she always took his defense and always took up for him and protected him. And when that photo fell off the refrigerator, I was like, okay, she's mad at me because I'm yelling at him.
You
so
know,
I thought maybe she might come through tonight, or my best friend that just passed away might come through, but I'm very happy with everything and I really appreciate it. And thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yes, you know, sometimes those energies, they come through when you're least expecting it, and sometimes people don't. And it's not that they don't want to talk. Like I said, they will be visiting us here. They might be with someone else. They might even feel like, oh, that person's fine, and so I don't need to really pass on a message to them. A lot of times they'll come through if a person just needs that closure or just to know that they are going on, and it's not something to be worried or sad about. Mhm. But I don't pick up anybody. Is there a B around either of those people that passed over? Barb or Barbara or something? Is there a B? Is there a B for any of you? Well, you're Brenda. Yeah, I don't pick up. Brenda, do you have somebody with short, dark hair that's passed over, female, younger? I wonder if I'm twizzling people again. I might be twizzling people right now. That's what I call it, is twizzling when I twizzle channels. But I don't see anybody coming straight through for you, Michelle. I don't see it. Just yeah, short. She's got short, dark hair, but she's standing back. It sounds like a B, but again, like I said, it could be mixing your channels. So unless they come, and that's the other thing. If they just sometimes they have to come through the dimensions, because if they only come so far, it's exhausting for me to go through and get them. And so I've just learned that they have to come all the way through. And notice how that noise has stopped. That's so weird.
Yeah, it did stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I wonder if it was my brother.
I wonder.
I didn't ask about him. I was going to ask about him, but
What was his name? What's his name?
I think it was Jimmy, though.
Jimmy.
Jimmy James.
Jimmy James. That's so funny, because when you said that, all I saw when you said his name, I got somebody, and he's got like piano fingers, like long fingers. And he goes like this. He goes just like that. He's like, what? And he, like, the way he covered his mouth was like I could see his fingers really long. Like he's in a pair of gray sweatpants and what looks like a white T-shirt or something. It may even be a logoed shirt, but it's a pair of gray sweatpants in this, and it almost looks like he wants to show me like a port or something, like an IV or a port or something. He wants to show me where they would use that IV or something like. Is that what that is? Okay. But when you said that, he was like, whoop, and he covers his, just like that. And I can see his whole hand, like, covers his whole face. And he actually looks, he looks like you, but his face is obviously more masculine, but it looks wider. His face looks wider. Yeah. He just is laughing. He's just he just keeps laughing. I'm wondering if that's him. He just keeps laughing.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. 11 too. Wants me to acknowledge 11. So it would be like 11 or November or something, but 11 comes through. 1-1. Interesting. Well, yay. All right. Okay. All right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have questions. And I'd be glad to answer them. And thanks a lot for joining me tonight. I'll be doing more of these. So just keep watching for everything on God's Tool or on Facebook, and more of these events will crop up here and there. And I'm going to be doing a lot of live things as well, free publicly on Facebook and YouTube as well. So you're welcome to jump on those.
TikTok?
And TikTok as well, yes. And TikTok. Yes. And I can't keep up with TikTok. I've had to go to the very, very first videos and then go through all of those comments to make sure I'm getting everybody who has said, please read me. So I was just like trying to get everybody in like I said I was. So
I had a reading on TikTok and you mentioned intuition as well.
I did?
You did.
Love that confirmation. See, that's exactly it. It's just in different platforms of not knowing who I'm talking to, and to have Spirit give that same message to someone is flipping awesome. I love that. Excellent. All right. You guys,
All right.
take care. God
Good night.
bless. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll chat with you guys